Good afternoon, friends. Myself, Dr. P.M. Bhagwan. Today I am conducting the lecture on quantum theory. Yesterday, we have discussed about the free electron theory, in which the theory tells about there are certain electrons which are called as the valence electrons, which are kept in the valence band. But when the external energy is applied, these electrons will get free and move to the conduction band, crossing the forbidden gap. Now, what is actually today we are going to see the quantum theory is all about. Now, this quantum theory tells about the actually this theory is proposed by Sommerfeld in 1928. So, this quantum theory tells about the free electrons, or it is you can say as microscopic theory, according to which free electrons move with constant potential and always obey quantum law. Now, when we are saying it always obeys quantum law, that is, it is a characteristics hence which gives the position and momentum of a single particle or group of particles which changes over the time. That means हे काय होतात प्रत्येक पर्टिक्युलर टाइमला चेंज होत राहतात. आणि क्वांटम क्वांटम म्हणजे काय? क्वांटम इज द मिनिमम अमाउंट ऑफ एनी फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी विच इज इन्वॉल्व्ड इन द इंटरॅक्शन. So here you can see very well see from the slide that quantum free electron theory was proposed by Sommerfeld in 1928. It overcomes many of the drawbacks of classical theory. Sommerfeld explained them by choosing Fermi Dirac statistics. So what is the meaning of Fermi Dirac statistics? So Fermi Dirac statistics tells or describes distribution of particle over energy states in a system which consists of many identical particles that obeys Pauli exclusion principle. So Pauli exclusion principle is the principle which you have studied in the last lecture, that whenever there is a distribution of the orbitals around the atom, so each orbit will take a paired electrons. So first, if you consider the pair number 1, that is the pair of 2 electrons, they will go in the first orbit, and then 8, and then 10, likewise this. If we consider the sodium, so its atomic number is 11. So its distribution is 2, 8 and 1. So the first 2 electrons will go in the first orbit, 8 will go in the second, and whatever the remaining will go in the third one. Because since 1 is remaining, so it will be get occupied in the second. No, it is not that. After filling up of the second orbit, it will go in the third one. Now, about this, what are the assumptions of quantum free electron theory? First and foremost assumption is valence electrons move freely in the constant potential within the boundaries of metal and is prevented from escaping the metal boundaries, hence electron is trapped. Now, as in case of the classical electron theory, we have seen that the electrons, once you give them more energy, they will move from valence band to conduction band. But in this case, these electrons are get prevented from escaping the metal. This is one of the most important assumption it is. Second one is, as we have discussed, the distribution of electrons in the various allowed energy levels are as per the Pauli's exclusion principle. Third one is, there is no any attraction or a repulsion between the free electrons and lattice ions. So important characteristic is that there are positive and negative, or the ions are positive, electrons are negative, so there is an attraction or electron repulsion. Always positive negative attracts, negative repels, positive repels. Such kind of concept is not there. So there is no any attraction and no any repulsion. Then the distribution of the energy is according to Fermi Dirac statistics, which I have already told you. What is Fermi Dirac statistics is all about? That is, it describes the distribution of the particles or energy states in the systems consisting of many identical particles that obeys Pauli's exclusion principle. Then you can very well see here the energy of electron, which is given by the formula n square h square upon 8 ml square, where n takes the value from 1 to 4. Now, what are the merits and demerits of the quantum free electron theory? First important merit is it successfully explains the electrical and thermal conductivity. Electrical properties, it can explain. Thermal heat related property or thermal conduction property, it can explain. It can also explain thermionic phenomena, it is thermionic emission. Then also it explains temperature dependency, at what temperature the conductivity will take place. Then it can explain specific heat of the metals. Then also it works upon the photoelectric effect, quantum effect, and black body radiation. So what is black body radiation? The black body radiation is the radiation in which all the heat incident upon the body will be absorbed by a particular body, which is known as the black body, that is called as black body radiation. Along with the merits, there equally have some demerits. So for certain metallic or some crystals, it is not able to explain the metallic properties. Then it will distinguish to fail between metal, semiconductor and insulator. In yesterday's lecture, we have seen about the classical electrical theory or classical theory, which states or which can able to distinguish between the metal, semiconductor and insulators. So how we can distinguish that? Because in the valence band we have the loosely held electrons. So once we give some higher level of our external energy to them, they will move from valence band to conduction band, and their conduction band is consist of the number of free electrons, and now these free electrons can be able to carry the electric current. So in this how we can able to distinguish between the metals, semiconductors and insulators, because the insulator doesn't have any kind of free electrons, so they will not be able to carry any electric current. Semiconductors, which are partly conductive and partly insulator. Now we will see one of the most important thing, that is Fermi energy. Now concentrate on this. So the name it is given due to the scientist who has invented, whose name is Enrico Fermi. So what is Fermi level? It is a measure of energy of least tightly held electrons within a solid. That means what we have seen in the classical electron theory, the final most orbit contains the valence electrons which are loosely held by the orbit. So once you give or once you excite them, it will move from that particular band to the next band. So it is the Fermi level, it is the measure of the energy for whom? Who are least tightly held electrons. It is important in determining the thermal and electrical properties. Now, the Fermi energy is a concept in quantum mechanics usually refers to the energy difference between highest and lowest occupied single particle state in the quantum system of non-interacting fermions at absolute zero temperature. So what is the meaning of this? See here, by the simplest way, you can say it is nothing but the difference between highest and the lowest energy levels. So the electrons which are loosely or very less uh, bond between bond have low energy, and the innermost level of the electrons has a high amount of energy as they are in the paired structures. So the difference between the two will give you the Fermi energy. Now the definition will state that the value of the Fermi level at absolute zero temperature. What is that temperature? Is minus 273 degrees Celsius is known as Fermi energy. That means, what is Fermi energy? The Fermi level, that means the difference between the two energies, which is at the absolute zero temperature, possessing that energy is known as the Fermi energy. Or also you can say it has a maximum kinetic energy that electron can attain at 0 Kelvin. So this is the definition of the Fermi energy. The value of the Fermi level at absolute zero temperature, that means at minus 270 degrees Celsius, it is known as the Fermi energy. It is also maximum kinetic energy of the electrons, which they can attain at 0 Kelvin. Now, how to calculate the Fermi energy? So if you can see,